Hello YouTube. Yesterday I made and uploaded a video about the US election with my initial reactions. While the views expressed in that video are my genuine views, the tone in which I presented them is not really up to the standards I've set for myself on this channel. And I'd like to thank the people who pointed this out. I really do appreciate that. So today I'm going to talk about the election from a different perspective. Trump being elected is in many ways a very bad thing. Whoever's fault it was, this election was very divisive, and while I think almost everyone, even many Trump supporters, could have lived with and accepted a Hillary presidency, there are a lot of Americans for whom Trump is simply not acceptable. Now, as far as I'm concerned, it's an absolute fact that the negatives of Trump have been greatly overblown, and that many people who find him unacceptable are not reacting to reality. I'll give an example, like the people who actually think that he's as bad as Hitler. I mean, he might end up as bad as Hitler, but we haven't seen any evidence that he actually is a fascist. But that being said, it's also clear to me that none of us really know what Trump will do once he's in power. I've heard some people say he's secretly more liberal than he appears, and I've heard other people say he's actually more right-wing than he appears, and this includes the people who think he's Hitler. Only time will tell which, if any, of these views is true. What is true, though, is that Trump won the election. What's got a lot of people understandably upset is that he didn't win the popular vote. A big part of what's driving the current anger, I think, is the perception that an antiquated electoral system handed Trump the win despite Hillary receiving more votes. This has caused a lot of people to want to get rid of the Electoral College. Now, I don't know how many of these people disliked the Electoral College before, but I, for one, have been in favor of getting rid of or changing it for many years. And my main reason for wishing this is the same reason I know it's inaccurate to talk about Hillary being the winner if there hadn't been an electoral college in place. At this point, if you need a refresher, I've linked a couple of old videos of CGP Grey in the description, where he explains the electoral college in a very brief and easy to understand way, and where he goes through the issues he sees with it. My main issue with the electoral college can be explained very simply. What happens if you live in California, but you didn't support Hillary? Was there even a point in leaving your house on election day? In California, since it's guaranteed to give all its electoral votes to Hillary given the majority Democrats have in the state, it was purely symbolic to cast a vote for anyone but Hillary. The effect of this is that we have no idea how the people of California would have voted if the state divided its electoral votes proportionally, or if the presidential vote was a direct Democratic vote, with each person getting a direct vote for president. It could easily turn out that there has been a silent non-Democrat majority in California all along, but nobody realized it. The other effect is that anyone running for president doesn't have to give two shits about the people of California, because it's pretty much guaranteed to vote for the Democratic candidate. Instead, candidates focus all their energy on swing states like Florida and will tailor their policies in such a way that they appeal to certain segments of the population in swing states. So the Electoral College produces a system in which some states matter more policy-wise than others, and where huge numbers of people are discouraged from voting in anything but a symbolic act. So if the protesters currently on the streets want to start a movement to abolish or change the Electoral College, I'm all for it. But that's not currently what I'm seeing. I simply don't have a lot of respect for people who protest purely out of anger rather than with a specific attainable goal in mind. And the signs I'm seeing in pictures of the protest don't say, remove the Electoral College. They're saying, fuck Trump, or some variation on that theme. And he won. The system is, we can't go back in time and change the system. The current election was run with the current system, and Trump won. So the focus, really, if you're angry about Trump and you hate him, the focus should be on trying to win the next election, trying to get, a Democratic majority in Congress or something like that. Like, Trump is going to be the president for the next 4 years, unless I guess somebody assassinates him, which it should never be an option. So you need to accept that, deal with it, and think of what you can do productively to actually make the changes you want to see in the world. Now, another issue I want to address is something I've been seeing a lot on the pro-Trump or the anti-Hillary side, depending on how you look at it. And it's something I've been guilty of too, to a certain extent. This new trend is to highlight any bad action or opinion from a pro-Hillary or anti-Trump person and declare, this is why Trump won. And while I think there's some merit to that position, it's a huge oversimplification of what actually happened. Trump just barely managed to beat Hillary, and the reason each individual person voted for him is going to be very complex. It's not that they were all sexist, but it's also not that they were all fed up with political correctness either. I'm going to link to an article below from Slate, of all places, that actually talks about exit survey results of Trump voters. I certainly found it interesting, and you should give it a read. So yes, Trump technically won, but his winning can't be used to somehow prove that social justice warriors are no longer relevant and their ideology is dead. No, America as a society hasn't fundamentally changed in the last 2 days. What was true last week is largely true today. The only thing that's really changed is an increase in anger, sadness, fear, and other strong emotions from a certain part of the population that is upset about Trump winning, and a certain amount of confidence among Trump supporters. People obsessed with identity politics are going to continue to obsess over identity politics, and in many cases they're going to go even deeper down the rabbit hole. I was watching the Young Turks on election night, and Chankur was concluding that they need to be more aggressive, if you can believe it. I've also seen a number of people who are strongly anti-Trump, including Kyle Kulinski of Secular Talk, speak about the need for the left to take on the negative tactics of the right, to be more on the attack and less on the defense. The reaction from some quarters I'm seeing from Trump's victory is not sober reflection on why people might have supported Trump and how people on the left may need to change to accommodate such people. Instead, I'm seeing a push to reject all change and to force the right to accommodate them. Now, to be fair, I have also seen a lot of moderates speak of the need for the left to reach out to the disaffected poor and middle-class people who voted for Trump. I sincerely hope that part of the left gains control. Because the idea of a left wing and a right wing both using the same negative attacking strategy is a recipe for disaster. So in that sense, a Trump presidency could be a really horrible thing. Not because of anything he may do, well, he may also do horrible things, we don't know, but because of how people are choosing to react to his win. So that pretty much sums up what I wanted to say about the election today. As I said in my last video, it's a huge topic, but if I talk about it again, I will try to keep it to this level of discourse rather than letting my emotions get the better of me again. So until next time, I'm Positive Improvement, and I wish you all the best.